Hi there guys, Kate back here and welcome to this channel. Today we're going to visit two beautiful towns, Stein am Rhein and Schaffhausen. This video is primarily about Stein am Rhein, Schaffhausen. In the description down below you will find the link for a more detailed video. Here I will only mention just a few points in the end. Both cities have gorgeous architecture and a lot of the buildings are actually Swiss national heritage, so enjoy. Both towns are in the very east of Switzerland, right next to Germany. They're only 20 minutes by train apart, so if you're visiting one, you should definitely visit the other. So the first town on our list, Stein am Rhein. Village to be precise, with just over 3,000 inhabitants. This is considered one of the best preserved medieval towns, or villages if you want to name it so. Most beautiful towns in Switzerland, arguably, given that it's so compact and so beautiful, definitely worth a visit. Now we'll tell you a little bit about the historical background. Stein am Rhein was originally a tiny fishing village that became a very, very prosperous commercial center. You would ask, well, how did that happen? And if you know anything about history, it's either trade or something to do with church. Well, in this case, it's both. In around 1007, Emperor Henry II moved St. George Abbey from its former location to Stein am Rhein. And at that time, as I pointed out, it was a tiny village. He gave the strength to the abbey, made it very powerful, and over time Stein am Rhein became a flourishing, prosperous town based on a lot of trade. Very early in the 15th century, it also received a grant of a Reichsfrei. So Reichsfrei is basically autonomous region or self-government. The whole town is absolutely gorgeous. If anything, it looks more like a gallery rather than anything else. Every single building pretty much has frescoes, and every single has its own story to tell. So if you look carefully, you might be able to get the plot of the story by following the different images on the buildings. Interestingly enough, this is exactly the reason why the town received the Walker Prize, and Walker Prize is the prize that is given to cities for a great preservation of its architectural heritage. So Stein am Rhein received it in 1972, and it's definitely well deserved. So unquestionably well-painted facades of the buildings are the top attraction in the city, but half-timbered houses are also very charming and truly bring this city fame. This peculiar method of building was actually originally used widely in China and Japan. In Europe, it's only quite common in Germany and France. So here far on the hill you can see the Hohenhagen castle. This castle was built above the town in 1225, brings a lot of colorful history to the city. So this is a symbol of the city, and today it is open for visitors as a restaurant and a hotel, so you can truly experience the medieval ages in action. So now we are on the crown of the city, the jewel in its crown, the Rathausplatz. Rathausplatz is basically translated as a square of the city hall. City hall you can see right there, and the buildings around the city hall are truly the most magnificent ones, with beautifully painted facades and clearly very, very wealthy. The reasons behind it are quite simple, as today probably the same as in the past. People with power and wealth wanted to be close to the ruling class. And where does the ruling class hang out? Well, yeah, usually in the city hall. So now to the heart of the city. St. George Abbey. As I pointed out, Henry II, Emperor in 1007, moved George Abbey from its former location here. The reason behind the move is it was a better, geographically speaking, strategic point because it was a center of major roads, river route intersection, and also right next to the Lake Constance. He gave abbots extensive rights over Stein and its trade. Interestingly enough, yes, back then, abbeys, churches, and whatever else religious were actually also commercial organizations in all ways imaginable. The abbey did prosper for a while, and 15th century it was completely rebuilt, and it was one of the first examples of Gothic architecture in the region. Last greatest abbot, David von Wittgenstein, who came to power in 1499, completely rebuilt the whole bunch of it, added spectacular Renaissance frescoes. Under the Reformation, however, the abbey was secularized and the assets were taken over by Zurich. Abbot von Wittgenstein negotiated the settlement with Zurich's authority that allowed monks to stay at the abbey until their death. Zurich, however, suspected Abbot in collusion with Habsburgs to take over the city, and eventually he was locked in sort of like a jail, you could say, but he was able to run away. A truly magnificent view opens up from the bridge, so I would definitely recommend walking over the bridge, especially to the other side, because from the other side you would have a great view over the city. Now we'll briefly tell you about Schaffhausen. So Schaffhausen is only 20 minutes away by train from Rhein and Stein. Regardless which one you visit first, both definitely worth your time. Both old towns, considered the most beautiful in Switzerland. Schaffhausen actually has over 30 buildings that are considered a Swiss national heritage. Buildings are sort of similar to Rhein and Stein, but they're still obviously different. There are lots of frescoes and lots of oriel windows. There's also a beautiful monastery that you can see, and if you want to know more, so check out the description below. I'll add the link to a more detailed video of Schaffhausen. guys, so that would be all I wanted to share with you for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, information was helpful, and you'll be able to visit either of the cities, ideally both. If you enjoyed the video, please put that like button. It's all very important always to every content creator. If you like such content, please consider subscribing. If any ideas, any questions, let me know down in the comments, and hope to see you soon.